good morning. And just to get ourselves a bit centered, there might be a lot going on. Um, let's just close the eyes gently and sit up nice and tall. Perhaps relax the shoulders, giving them a bit of a roll. Relax the jaw. Relax the muscles in the face. And let's take 3 rounds of deep conscious breaths. So inhaling through the nose, fill up the lungs and then open the mouth and release on a sigh. Inhale deeply and release. One last time, on inhale and release. Lovely. Just taking a moment to arrive on your mat on this Thursday morning. And tuning into your breath. Lovely. And then when you're ready to, we'll flutter the eyes open. We'll start taking some movements into the neck. So we'll imagine we're trying to draw a necklace across our chest. So we'll bring the chin towards the chest and then we'll move the head from right to left, left to right. Very mindfully to release the muscles in the neck. Beautiful. And then when you get there, we'll bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. So we'll allow that lovely stretch in the left side of the neck. An option to intensify this stretch is to inhale and bring the right hand up to the sky and then rest the right hand on the left ear or the left side of the head. Allowing the weight of the hand to bring that gentle stretch into the side of the left. And again, just an option, but if you want to intensify the stretch forward, you can walk your left fingertips out to the side. Breathing deeply here. Lovely, and then we'll release. Let's bring everything back to center, and then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So this time we'll bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Option to bring the left hand up and over and rest it on the right ear. And then if you did so on the other side, you could walk the right fingertips away from the body towards the right hand side. Lovely. And then let's release everything and come back to center. Let's roll the shoulders a couple of times. And then we'll interlace the hands, the fingers. Inhale deeply and we'll sweep the arms up towards the sky. So bringing a lovely stretch to the upper body. And you have an option here as well to just sway from side to side, again bringing an extra stretch in the sides of the body. Beautiful. And then we'll release the interlace of the fingers. We'll bring the hands back down and let's rest the palms on the knees. And we'll bring some movement to the spine now. So move freely, just feel how your body wants to move this morning. But you know, there's an option to draw figures of 8 with the spine, or simply draw circles. Whatever feels good, and option to close the eyes as well. Just to feel into the movement and feel into what your body needs this morning. Lovely. A couple more rounds like this, so circling the spine or moving into figures of 8. And then we'll gently come back to stillness, come back to center. And if your eyes were closed, you can flutter them open again. Let's release the legs and bring the soles of the feet to the mat. We'll prop ourselves up onto our hands and we'll take a few windscreen wipers with our legs. So inhaling deeply, exhale, we'll drop both knees over towards the right. Inhale back to center, exhale, drop the knees to the left. Inhale back to center, drop the knees over to the right. And just carry on like this, from left to right, right to left. Couple times, releasing the legs and starting to release the hips. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the legs back to center. And let's come to kneeling on the mat. We'll tuck all 10 toes under, and what we want to do is bring the seat to the heels. So we're stretching the balls of the feet here. So it's quite intense. If it gets too intense, you know, you can come back on forward onto your hands, but try and stick with it and open up the muscles and all the tendons in the feet. Option here as well is to interlace the hands as you did before and sweep the arms up towards the sky, again for an extra stretch in the upper body. Breathing deeply. Couple more rounds of breath. Beautiful. And then we'll release, untuck the toes, and perhaps you can tap the toes on the mat. And then tuck the toes under again and walking our hands back towards our feet. Let's work our way into a forward fold. Keep the knees nice and bent. Make sure your torso is draped over your thighs. And you can grab hold of opposite elbows here and just sway from side to side. Keeping your head and neck relaxed and just hanging loose. If you have the hold of the elbows, you can release it now, and very gently we'll make our way up to standing, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Very last thing to come up will be your head. Lovely. So take your time, enjoy the journey. Let's just take a moment to adjust to being upright again. We'll bring our feet hip distance apart and we'll take a balance now. So we'll ground into our left leg, into our left foot, hands on the hips, and with control we'll inhale and lift the right knee. You can stay here if this is good for you. If you want to go a bit further with this, we'll start drawing circles with the right knee. So the idea here is that we want to open up and start to release the hip joint. One more circle in this direction, and then we'll reverse and draw circles in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then we'll release the foot back down to the mat. Feet hip distance apart. Keep your hands on your hips. We'll inhale deeply and then exhale. We'll sit back into an imaginary chair. So we'll bend the knees. I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing as well. We're bending the knees, and then option as well is to lengthen the arms up towards the sky, but make sure you can still see your pinky fingers and relax the shoulders. Feel the thighs starting to warm up, burn up. One more breath here. Lovely. And then we'll release, forward fold, lengthening the legs and bringing the head and the neck forward and releasing any tension in the upper body. Lovely. And let's roll back up to standing. Again, vertebra by vertebra. Beautiful. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. So this time we'll ground into our right leg, right foot. Spread the toes nice and wide on the mat. Hands to hips. And we'll bring the left knee up. And again, option here to draw circles with the left knee. Opening up to the side. One more like this. And then drawing circles in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And then we'll release, we'll bring the left foot back down. And let's take chair pose again and see if you can sit a little bit deeper this time. So hands on the hips. Inhale deeply, exhale, we'll start bending the knees and sitting back in that imaginary chair. Again, option to lengthen the arms, relax the shoulders, and sit as low as you can. Breathing deeply fire to build up in your legs, in your thighs. One more deep breath here. Lovely, and release. Forward fold. Back swing from side to side here. Take any movement that feels good. And then gently we'll roll back up to standing. And give your arms and your legs a bit of a shake. Beautiful. And if you aren't there already, we'll come to stand at the top of your mat. Feet hip distance apart. And then we'll open up to the side. So with our right foot, we'll step back, wide-legged stance. And we'll work towards a warrior two. So we want to pivot our feet. So the left foot will be pointing forwards. Right foot will come in at around 45 degrees. Legs are nice and long for now. Inhale deeply. Exhale, we'll push the walls away, lengthening the arms and bending the left knee. Warrior two stance. Inhale, let's bring everything back to center. Arms, hands back to center, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, push everything away, warrior two. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale, push the walls away. And let's stay here now for a few breaths in warrior two. So nice bend in the left knee. Gaze will be across your left middle fingers and arms reaching out. Imagine someone is pulling you in opposite directions from your hands. One more breath here. And then we'll transition into side angles. So we'll bend the left arm and bring the left elbow down towards the top of the left thigh. And inhale, we'll reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. So there should be a nice long line of energy from the tips of the right fingers down to the right foot. And open up the chest. So imagine you're pressing your back against an imaginary wall. And take a few deep breaths here. Lovely, and then we'll transition back through warrior two. And then bring the hands to the hips, lengthen the legs, and come into a wide-legged stance. Feet facing sideways, as the hands on the hips will hinge and fold forwards for a wide-legged forward fold. Lovely. And then when you're ready to, we'll make our way back up to standing, rolling vertebra by vertebra. Beautiful. And then let's step to the front of the mat where we started. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. So this time we'll step back with our left foot. Nice wide-legged stance. And we'll bring our feet into warrior two stance. So right toes pointing forward, left at around 45 degrees. Legs are nice and strong. Bring the hands to prayer at heart center. Inhale deeply. Exhale, push the walls away, coming into warrior two. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, warrior two. And then when you get there, let's keep the warrior two stance and take a few deep breaths in warrior. Arms along, gazing along the right middle finger. Strong legs. Lovely. And then let's transition into side angle, bending the right arm, bringing the right elbow to the top of the right thigh, and inhale, lengthen the left arm up towards the sky. One more breath here. Beautiful. And then we'll transition back to warrior two, just for a breath. And then lengthen the legs, pivot the feet, and one more time we'll hinge at the hips and fold forward, wide-legged, forward fold, just to release everything. Beautiful. And then when you're ready to, with your hands, we'll walk them towards the front of the mat and pivot the feet so that we find ourselves in a runner's lunge pose. We'll press into the hands and step the right foot back so that we're in a high plank. Lovely. We'll drop the knees, untuck the toes, and come down to the mat. Thighs, belly, chest, forehead. Press into the hands, into the tops of the feet. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, release back down, and then pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet. Will come through tabletop and then downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths in dog. Take any movement that feels good, perhaps walking one foot and then the other. And then when you're ready to, in your own time, make your way down to the mat into an extended child's pose. So no rush, take your time. But when you get the knees nice and wide, draping the torso in between the thighs, arms are long. And just let everything go in your child's pose. Let the practice wash over you. And take that moment to reconnect with your breath. Beautiful. And then we'll start walking the hands very gently and mindfully back towards the knees. Bringing your spine to be upright. And then you can either stay in a kneeling position like so, or find a comfortable cross-legged position like how we started our practice. And then let's take 3 deep breaths. So inhale through the nose, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, open the mouth and release, let everything go. Couple more times, inhale. Inhale. And release. And one last time, we'll inhale, bring the arms up towards the sky. Bring the palms to touch at the center. And release, bringing the prayer down to the forehead for kind thoughts, down to the mouth for kind words, and down to heart center for kind actions. And we'll bow together to seal the practice. Thank you so much for joining.